what's up guys? Joe here coming at you today with Champions War League Light Week 3 action between Elite Gaming and Why So Golem. 69-64 was the final score. 21 3-stars on the Elite Gaming side and 18 stars on the Golem side. Great war overall and some wild attacks in this war. I mean, absolutely epic attacks. We're going to start from the top with a Town Hall 10 attacking a Town Hall 11. We have Doc Jekyll here. Doc Jekyll is a Town Hall 10, and he will be going in and getting a 2-star in on a Town Hall 11. And these attacks are extremely important when you have Town Hall 10s that can jump up and take care of a Town Hall 11 in the event that, you know, we're not going to always be able to triple Town Hall 11 versus Town Hall 11. It's not always as logical. And what ends up happening here is when you have Town Hall 10s that can do things like this with the masked baby dragons around the base itself and getting rid of these structures on the outsides of the base, prepping for a higher percentage in order to go in, get the Town Hall, and basically get the 2-star. And they make it look very easy the way they do it. And it's just this overall confidence and tallying up the amount of structures on the outsides of the base that they can get with the baby dragons. He has this army camp up here in the north that's still standing, that's far enough out of range. He also has a couple more structures, but he has 3 baby dragons still available in order to get rid of these remaining structures that are on the outsides of the base. And he's very patient, very surgical. He's dropped one more. He's got one more working on this army camp, or oh, good lord, army camp. It was more like a barracks. So anyways, we got a barracks. He's also drawn the clan castle, dropped another baby dragon to take care of the army camp. So it's a very long, drawn-out process, not rushing it. Gets the poison spell down for the clan castle troops, and then just continues to use the baby dragons, what's left of them, to take care of the troops that were in the clan castle. That way they don't hinder the troops that are going to come in through the south and take care of the town hall. And they have a lot of structures down here to go through in order to do it. You got an expo, you got an inferno tower, you also have another expo on the opposite side. So there's just, he's basically splitting the inferno tower. So you got 10 beams. Drops a earthquake spell to weaken the town hall as well as the clan castle, where the Valkyries are going to go in between and try to split those using a giant for tanking as well as his heroes. And then he gets the Valkyries down. He has some in his clan castle as well as some in his queue using wall breakers and a rage spell. The jump spell was preset, and he ends up freezing the Eagle Artillery, so that way the Eagle Artillery doesn't hinder the Valkyries, and the Valkyries can just go directly into the core of this base, taking care of the Town Hall, the Clan Castle, and the Wizard Tower, everything in the middle, as well as having the Archer Queen's Royal Cloak ability available in order to take care of this higher level Barbarian King, as well as getting rid of the Expo. Just basically percentage at this point, and he does secure the 2-star attack for Elite Gaming on this Town Hall 11 with Why So Golem. So great attack by Doc, and we're going to go ahead and move right out of this one. You can already imagine where this is going to go. So 2-star attack by Doc Jekyll. We're going to drop down to number 3. Flatchin is a Town Hall 9, jumping up and hitting a Town Hall 10. Again, very epic attacks in the sense that you have the ability to have guys that can come up and attack stuff that is much higher level than what they, what most people would normally attack. So Archer Queen on a Naked Queen walk briefly without her healers, using a baby dragon over in the southeastern corner, taking out a couple of structures as well as a wizard. But the wizard went down relatively quick, and then just patient without dropping the healers. Sets it over top of the army camp. There can't be a trap where the army camp sits, so he brings those healers in a very good location, not having to worry about a seeking air mine to take out those healers. Using his Archer Queen to go, basically what he wants her to do is kind of screen the side here. Drops his rage spell as that Barbarian King goes out to trigger her, and then also drawing the clan castle, which ends up being a lava hound, which is always a time issue when it comes to an Archer Queen and dealing with that clan castle troops. So anyways, drops a single minion to assist the queen with destruction of this lava hound, as well as an archer. But the archer strays off and decides to go after the barracks instead, and then before she even knows it, she's taken out by a lava pup. The Archer Queen does have to have a rage spell used on her. Again, he's getting a lot of value out of this Archer Queen, or he intends to get a lot of value out of the Archer Queen by raging her up again and keeping her alive longer. So she's going to screen this whole side. And basically what he wants her to do is go into this first compartment. He's going to drop a golem to distract this archer tower, and then he's going to use some wall breakers. But the wall breakers actually do end up hitting a giant bomb and dying, and they would have been taken out by the Inferno tower anyways. Either way, he doesn't, freak out. He doesn't, stray away from what his initial plan was. Drops his Barbarian King as well as a Wizard to continue to set the funnel and try to get those bowlers to go into the core. Has another wall breaker fail. So again, where the plan tends to look like it's grim, it's not going to work. He does improvise using the Valkyries to get into the base, using the Rage spell and a jump spell to get the Valkyries into the base. Now, here's the fun part, is the Valkyries are not able to take down the Town Hall. They go in between structures, so they do get distracted by this Archer Queen, and they do go down. His Archer Queen actually does go down, and then the Barbarian King ends up being the MVP here by staying alive, taking down the Inferno Tower, and then he uses the Iron Fist ability to get in on that Town Hall and takes it down while under the fire of the Inferno Tower, taking down also both of the Teslas and getting more percentage. So it's a Town Hall 9 jumping up and hitting a Town Hall 10. So basically, this overall, wow, you got two lower Town Halls jumping up and hitting Town Halls that are higher than what they would normally be hitting. So a great attack by Flatchin and Doc Jekyll so far. Anyway, so also before we move on, a part of my little giveaway that I'm doing for the guys that have been watching my channel for so long, I am doing a giveaway. So real quick before we move into the next raid, I do have oh goodness, this would be a Google Play gift card, $10 gift card for whoever redeems this code, 7EL8QWKN4PWG9969MYQD. So go ahead and get in there and redeem that code, and we're going to go ahead and continue with the raids that are coming up. We have number 6 on the board next. We have Yo Tony, Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 attack. We're going to go ahead and get in here and watch him do it again this week, week 3. He's doing it again with the Gobo Laloon, dropping his Golem first, where there ends up being a Tesla using a baby dragon and a couple of wizards to, take his time. He's not rushing the funnel. He's just allowing the Golem to take all the damage while the wizards work. The Golem is going to end up going down or splitting into Golemites here momentarily. But he gets those heroes down, he gets his bowlers down, and everything's going to follow into this compartment at some point once this cannon does go down. Rages up the troops as they move into the base, getting a jump spell down, poison spell for the clan castle under the Inferno Tower's engagement and its fire. And so the bowlers are going to end up melting due to the Inferno Tower's coverage, but they're going to take out a couple of structures in the process, and the Archer Queen will end up taking down this Inferno Tower. So getting a lot of value out of his kill squad by taking down an air defense and the Inferno Tower, following it up with 2 hounds to come in, and then starts trickling in his balloons just like last week. The Archer Queen will continue to move into the base. He has a freeze spell for this Inferno Tower in the north, freezing both the Inferno Tower and that air ground set mode Expo. That's a mouthful, goodness. But anyways, the Expo is frozen and has been taken out momentarily, using haste spells to move those balloons further into the base, and then another hound to get in on the air defense as the balloons get in there and take it down. So the hound will continue to distract as it moves into the 4th air defense, but he has a haste spell down to launch the balloons into that air defense, and his Archer Queen does eventually go down due to the Tesla, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Plenty of pups down in the south or over in the west to take out those structures, and using the last of his couple of balloons to trickle in on structures that are going to ultimately take some time up to take down. So another great attack by Tony, getting in here and taking care of another Town Hall 10 with another air attack. Patient with the funnel, patient with not freaking out about the Inferno Tower on his troops. There's no other way to put that or to go about that. It's just really just staying patient and not worrying about the Inferno Tower so much. So we're going to go ahead and move into the next attack, which would be JSP. And JSP does an interesting attack on number 8. JSP comes in with a different version of a Gobo Laloon, bringing dragons into the composition. So over here in the far east, he's going to start out by dropping a couple of sniper troops, taking care of the builders' huts in the corners. Those are notorious for things that I get got on. Using his golems to get down Archer Queen, couple of wizards to take out a couple of structures that are, while the defenses are distracted on the golems. Drawing the clan castle at the same time and using a poison spell to take care of those, or at least work on those while the Archer Queen is standing back working on structures. Getting his bowlers down. A Barbarian King's in there battling the other Barbarian King, and he uses the Iron Fist ability, using a jump spell to move into the center of this base and just going in and taking out more structures. The Archer Queen here, he actually gets a lot of value out of his Archer Queen. The Barbarian King will end up taking down the, well, he's battling the enemy Archer Queen, and he does bust through the compartment and does take her down. The bowlers will take out a couple of more air defenses. And at this point, you got the Archer Queen in the core of the base doing a lot of work on this very interesting base layout. But he drops a couple of dragons in the north, and then he basically splits it using his Lava Hound in order to block for the high DPS Teslas in the south. So a great way of maneuvering his troops, and a very different composition than what we've seen, or at least I've seen in the CWL or in these wars so far. A great way to hold on to those balloons by using his Lava Hound that wasn't necessarily needed for air defenses, and just splits the base in overall. The Archer Queen is holding on by a thread of health, but all the defenses are down, and it's all cleanup at this point, with the dragons in the north moving down and a couple of balloons in the south, as well as a Archer Queen with a thread of health holding on for dear life. He'll wrap it up here with a 3-star attack. No issues, and just an overall great meticulation of the base by JSP. Great attack by him. So applaud to JSP. So I had, let's see here. Man, so many great attacks in this war that we could be here all day if we show every single one. I'm trying to get through some very interesting attacks that we haven't seen done yet. There was actually 3 or 4 attacks that I will have to follow up on a different video that was done by these guys. So we have David again in week 3 coming up with a different attack. Let's see here. So David comes in with a composition that has, basically it's a Gobo La, or no, goodness gracious, not a Gobo Laloon, but a Go-Hobo with a P.E.K.K.A, but a mass group of hogs. And the thing about this base is that the base itself was set up for anti-hog all the way, and you'll see once he starts to transition into the Hog Riders. So as always, he's gotten down his kill squad of his Barbarian King, his Archer Queen, group of wizards, and a couple of baby dragons to set the funnel and move the bowlers into the base, getting the clan castle out, poison spell, and his Archer Queen is going to follow suit. They're going directly into a Tesla farm, and the P.E.K.K.A will actually go down and due to the Teslas, and the bowlers will continue to work as he starts to transition into a couple of Hog Riders. Now, David's very patient with his Hog Rider drop. He's not spamming them. He's not dumping them. He's just very patient, allowing the hogs to work as they go throughout the base. Got some assistance with the bowlers on that expo there. And as the hogs continue to transition down here in the south, there are spring traps set up all over the place for the purpose of this. So really a base that was set up to combat hogs. He ends up actually kind of forcing it and getting it done anyways. A couple of hogs run into a giant bomb there. And then they run into the next heal spell, but run into another spring trap. So there's just spring traps all down in this southwestern portion of the base as he continues to sprinkle hogs in. He's out of hogs at this point, and a couple more defenses remaining. He has a cannon remaining, the 2 air defenses, and very thin on the Hog Riders. So very patient here. Probably fingers crossed a little bit with the Hog Riders as another one flies off the map there, and the last one goes down due to the Archer Tower. His bowlers did actually survive the northern portion of the base, and they're starting to move in, and they're kind of hanging out, swagging that poison spell on the clan castle. A little bit of disrespect there, but either way, it's all in all sportsmanship. So the Archer Queen's ability is pop, taking down the last Archer Tower, and for 100%. So a great raid by David. So before we move on into the next raid, I got an iTunes gift card to follow up from the Google Play gift card. And for those with Apple devices, I got X9RX7VLQ 5, 4, 2, N9, M as in Mike, 9, 5. So congratulations to whoever redeems that gift card. And we have many more to come in the upcoming weeks. So moving right along into the next attack, I have EFX. EFX with a great attack. This one was actually a different attack that expect to see a video on this one in the upcoming days. This is a Go Hobo with a Queen Walk and witches involved. A very interesting composition that these guys rolled in this war. I've seen this attack used 3 or 4 times this war, and it's actually very interesting considering the optimism, or the, not optimism, what is the word here I'm looking for? I was told a couple of weeks ago that the witches suck still. So, I mean, apparently they still suck, but they're still being used. So, very interesting attacks here. Starting out with the Queen Walk, getting the clan castle drawn, and taking care of the baby dragons in the north with the Archer Queen. And then he's going to drop a long line of witches to start working on these structures using a golem, just like the attack that we've seen with the bowlers witch combination at Town Hall 11 down on Town Hall 10s. Well, this is the same combination done at Town Hall 9, using the golem to distract the defenses while the witches work. And that way the witches aren't taking the blunt force of the defenses, and he starts to work those bowlers into the base using a jump spell in the core of the base, allowing the witches to work on the outsides of the base. Using a rage spell on his bowlers to go directly into the core of the base where there is a bit of a Tesla farm. His Barbarian King's ability is popped, as well as his Archer Queen following them as they move into the base. Golem is continuing to tank for those troops, and the witches are up there just hanging out, continuing to take out defensive structures on their own. The Archer Tower is distracted by the skeleton spells. But anyways, he also has a skeleton spell to work on this bomb tower and take it out in assistance with the Hog Riders to keep the Hog Riders going and not taking the blunt end force of the bomb that was underneath the bomb tower. So all the defenses are about down. We got 2 more defenses. No, correction, 3 more defenses. We got a mortar in the south, and now we have a cannon that's about to go down due to the Hog Riders. All of the heroes are down, and the healers have transferred over to a group in the core with the Golem and some skeletons. So very odd combination, being healed by the healer, so they're kind of useless at this point. And the Hog Riders will continue to clear the base, and just an overall great attack. Great use of witches. It's great to see those back in action being used at Town Hall 9, at least a lot more than I've been seeing in the past. So last Builder's Hut goes down, and another 3-star attack by another member of Elite Gaming. Defenses was also a factor in this, but I'm not going to show any of Elite Gaming's bases. I don't really want to do too much of that. So anyways, next attacker was Jacob. Jacob comes in with a very interesting attack. He's actually the last attack, I believe. Yeah. So Jacob is the last attack that I have with you, and you have to pay attention to the patience here and his composition. Very interesting attack. Very well executed. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Jacob. And Jacob is going to do some waiting over here on this Archer Queen. He has 3 skeleton spells in his queue. Now, the raid has already started. The time has already started. And he's just waiting on that Archer Queen to step out of range of these defenses. So this is a very tedious process here, as she just kind of makes her rounds. And then she's going to take another couple steps, and he's going to drop the poison spell and take out the Archer Queen without any interference. Only 2 defenses to interfere there, and great way to get rid of that Archer Queen. I have only seen that a few times. Maybe it's been done quite a bit in the CWL, but I haven't seen a whole lot of it in regular wars. So very creative there. Dropping his golems, and then also having the wizards down to take out structures and start setting up the funnel. Wizards all over the place down here in the south as well. Using the jump spell, not having to worry about goodness gracious, the wall breakers here. The wall breakers would have been taken out by those wizard towers. So very smart to bring jump spells instead of worrying about wall breakers. But the composition here, there's like no set composition. It's like a combination of compositions here. He has a jump spell on the core there, and he has the bowlers continuing to follow suit. And he'll end up popping this Iron Fist ability by the Barbarian King to jump into the center there. He's got a couple of giants in the queue to start working their way south. And so there's 2 additional air defenses over here in the far west, and he'll use a giant to tank and distract for some Hog Riders to come in and take out the air defense. He drops in one random balloon to go in, then he drops that giant. The giant is distracting these defenses in the archer tower and the cannon, and then he'll bring Hog Riders to follow them up and finish up taking out the last air defense, so that the way the dragons continue to sweep down the into the south side of the base. So very great way to the use of troops here. The use of troops was, it's just insane on this raid. Not a lot of spells that made a whole lot of difference. You had the 2 jump spells there, you had the 1 rage spell for the bowlers, and then the 3 skeleton spells for the Archer Queen and getting rid of her. So, I mean, just a great way to get rid of the Archer Queen and the Clan Castle, not having to deal with either one of those instead of taking those head on. So, hopefully you were able to pick up something from this war. These guys are doing a great job. Thanks for having me, Elite Gaming. 3-0 for week 3 and going into week 4. And I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for watching, y'all.